And welcome to Iskcon Niagara's Saturday presentation. And it's nice out there now. The weather is going to get warmer. Looks like we're going to have a wonderful next week. So we can all get out and get some exercise and fresh air. So today is going to be the first part in a series on the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. More especially because this month is the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the 28th of March, when we will be celebrating the Gaur Purnima. Today we will begin with an opening kirtan by His Grace Satchitananda Dasa, and that will be followed by a class by Satchitananda on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That will be followed by a question and answer session. We'll have some announcements after that, and then a closing kirtan. So we will now begin with the opening kirtan by Satchitananda Dasa.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So as Vaishnava Prabhu announced, this Iskcon Niagara is celebrating the whole month of March, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So I would like to start today's session by singing a bhajan glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's from the book Sharanagati. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Bhajan, please. Jive doya kori swaparshada sviyodhama sahayava tari. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive doya kori swaparshada sviyodhama sahayava tari. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive doya kori swaparshada siyodhama saha avatari. Atyanta durlabha prema koribare daan sikhaye sharanagati bhakatero pran. Atyanta durlabha prema koribare daan sikhaye sharanagati bhakatero pran. Dainyayatma nivedana grokrite varana avasya rakshive Krishna vishvasya palana. Dainayatma nivedana gokrite varana avasya rakshive Krishna vishvasya palana. Bhakti anukula matra karya swikar भक्ति प्रतिकूल भाव वर्जनं धिक्कार भक्ति अनुकूल मात्र कार्य स्वीकार भक्ति प्रतिकूल भाव वर्जनं धिक्कार षडांग शरणागति होइबे जाहा ताहार प्रार्थना शुने श्री नंद कुमार षडांग शरणागति होइबे जाहा ताहार प्रार्थना शुने श्री नंद कुमार रूप सनातन पदे दन्ते तृणाकरी भक्ति विनोद पड़े दोहु पद धरी भक रूप सनातन पदे दन्ते तृणाकरी भक्ति विनोद पड़े दोहु पद धरी कांदिया कांदिया बोले आमी कोयधा शिखाए शरणागति करो हे उत्तम कांदिया कांदिया बोले आमी कोयधा शिखाए शरणागति करो हे उत्तम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु जीवे दया करी स्वपार्षद सियो धाम सहाय करी फर्स्ट वर्स श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य या प्रभु जीवे दया करी स्वपार्षद सियो धाम सहाय करी सहाय करी। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaur Hari, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaur Hari. Jaya Satchitananda Gaur Hari. Bolo Jaya Satchitananda Gaur Hari. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaur Hari. Bhaja Gauranga, kaho Gauranga, laho Gauranga naam le. Bhaja Gauranga, kaho Gauranga, laho Gauranga naam le. Jai Jana Bhaje Gauranga, Sheyamara Paran Re. Jai Jana Bhaje Gauranga, Sheyamara Paran Re. Bhaja Gauranga, kaho Gauranga, laho Gauranga gira naam re. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jayo Radha Madana Mohan, Radha Madana Mohan, Radhe Radhe. Jayo Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radhe Radhe. Jayo Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radhe Radhe. Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Jayo Shri Radhe. Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Vrindavan Dham, Jayo Krishna Balaram, Jayo Vrindavan Dham. Jayo Lalita Vishakha Radhe Shyam. Jayo Lalita Vishakha Radhe Shyam. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Satchitananda Das. Thank you for that wonderful rendering of such sweet kirtan. So before we move on to our next part of the program, which is a class given by His Grace Satchitananda Das, I will tell you a little bit about the background to our very dear Satchitananda. Satchitananda is a disciple of Nitya Leela Pravishta, His Holiness Bhakti Charuswami. And Satchit has been associated with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness for more than 30 years. Presently, he serves as a council member of Iskcon NIagara and is very active in setting up most of the programs and organizing most of the work that's needed for Iskcon NIagara, and is also one of the visionaries for the future of the Iskcon NIagara project. His service in Iskcon includes that of being a pujari, a Sunday feast cook. He's also been teaching harmonium to the Sunday school children. His forte is kirtan, bhajans, lecture, and seminars on the Bhagavad Gita, Vaishnava bhajans, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Gaudiya Vaishnava teachings. He has spoken in many countries, providing spiritual guidance. He's been conducting preaching tours in India, Sweden, Canada, Russia, Belgium, France, Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, and Mexico. He is fully dedicated to serving His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So today, Satchit will conduct a class on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the golden avatar who inaugurated the Sankirtan movement, the Yuga Dharma for this fallen age of Kali. So let's welcome Satchitananda Das.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya Acharya Guru Varg ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Anarpita Charima Chirat Karunaya Avatirno Kalo Samarpaitum Unatva Jalo Rasam Swabhaktim Shriyam Harihi Purata Sundara Dyuti Kadama Sandipitaha Sada Hrudaye Kandare Sfurata Vaha Sachinandana. Resplendent with the radiance of molten gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation ever offered before the most sublime and radiant spiritual knowledge of the mellows or the taste of service. May that Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanaya Iva Swadyo Yena Adbhuta Madhurima Kidrisho Vamadhyaha Shokyam Chasya Madanubhavata Kidrisham Veti Lobhat Tadbhavadya Samajani Sachi Garbha Sindho Harinduha. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes that sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appears from the moon of Sachi Mata as the moon appears from the ocean. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. I offer my humble obeisances to the most munificent incarnation, whose name is Krishna Chaitanya. I offer my humblest obeisances unto him, and who is freely giving Krishna Prema, the most munificent benefactor of all mankind, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Guru Srila Prabhupada. And all glories to all the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. So, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. May the words that emanate from my mouth be pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, to our Acharyas, to all the Vaishnavas, and especially to the most intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who can bestow his mercy. Whenever Krishna or any of his avatars, they descend, there are multifarious reasons, and always somebody is instrumental in calling upon the advent of the Lord and calling upon the Lord to descend. As an example, when the earth was burdened, Bhumi, who took the shape of a cow, she approached Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and they all of them went to the ocean of milk and prayed to the avatar of the Supreme Lord, Sirudaksai Vishnu, with wonderful prayers like the Purusha Sukta, etc. And at that time, the message was given through Shirudaksai Vishnu that Lord Krishna himself would descend very soon. And all of the demigods with their wives were requested to take birth in the Yadu dynasty and take birth in Vrindavan, welcoming the advent of Sri Krishna. So, like that, there's always some great devotee or devotees who are instrumental in appealing to the Lord to come down. And in the case of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Sri Krishna himself, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya was instrumental. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on February 18, according to the English calendar, on a Thursday in the year 1486. And Advaita Acharya, who is none other than an incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadashiv from Vaikuntha, from the Mayapur Golok Dham, he had already appeared in Shantipur in West Bengal. And seeing the condition of the degraded society where Vaishnavism was almost extinct, and the worshippers of the energy or the Shaktas, worshippers of Durga Devi, was more prominent, wherein the essence of devotion was almost lost due to the Vaishnavas considered to be extremely low-born. That was the opinion. And the opinion was that because of their past karma, those who had bad past karma appeared in the form of the Vaishnava caste. And they were kind of condemned by the society at large. And there was a lot of apasampradaya, something that is not proper according to the Guru Sadhu and Shastra. Things were happening. So out of pure compassion, Advaita Acharya was made the instrument for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. Actually, there is a wonderful composition by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a Brahmavadi or kind of a Mayavad and one of the most leading scholars at that time in India. Sarvabhauma, Bhauma means the entire world, and Bhattacharya, the Acharya, the Brahmin, the Vedic scholar. So when in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from his Mayavadism and he was converted to a wonderful Vaishnava, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya composed many wonderful songs that glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and glorified his associates. And in one of the songs, he mentions how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this world when he mentions that Hunkar Garjanadi Ahoratra Sadagunam Ha Krishna Radhika Nath Prarthanadi Bhavanam Dhupadipakasturi cha Chandanadi Lepanam Sitanath Advaita Chara Naravinda Bhavanam Gangavari Manovari Tulashadi Manjari Krishna Jnana Sadadhyana Premavari Jarajari Kripa Abdi Karunanath Bhavishyati Prarthanam Sitanath Advaita Chara Naravinda Bhavanam Muhura Muhu Krishna Krishna Uchchaiswara Giyatam Aho Nath Jagatanath Mama Drishti Gocharam Dvibhuja Karunanath Diyatam su darshanam Sitanath Advaitachara Naravinda Bhavanam. Advaita Acharya, he said, Bharsava Bhattacharya writes in this composition, Hunkara Garjanadi Ahoratra Sadagunam. Hunkara means he, like a elephant or like a tiger, he roared and he called out, Ha Krishna, O Krishna, Radhika Nath, O Master of Radhika. Prarthna Adi Bhavanam, with great prayers, fervent prayers, with great emotional devotion. And he worshipped the Shaligram Shila on the banks of the Ganges. The Shila, Shaligram Shila, is none other than Sri Krishna. And he worshipped the Shaligram with Dhupa Deepa Kasturi Chandanadi Lepanam. He offered the incense, he offered the lamp, he offered kasturi. Kasturi is a very fragrant substance that actually, the original kasturi comes from the navel of a deer. And it is musk, basically. Kasturi is musk. And it is very rare to get pure musk these days. So musk is one of the favorites of Sri Krishna. It is offered, the musk incense, the musk ointment. So Kasturi, he offered the musk ointment to the Shaligram Shrira and Chandanadi Lepanam. And he offered wonderful, fresh sandalwood pulp to the Shaligram, to Sri Krishna. And Sita Natha Dvaita Charana Ravinda Bhavanam. So the name of the husband of Sita, not Ramchandra's Lord Mata Sita, but the wife of Advaita Acharya, his wife was known as Sita Mata. Even in the bhajan, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More, Toma Vina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare, Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar, Mo Sama Patita Prabhu Na Paibe Ar. Haha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi, Kripa Balo Kana Karo Ami Bado Dukhi, Doya Karo Sita Pati. So here, Narottam Das Thakur, the author of this bhajan, is addressing specifically all the different associations of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, including Advaita Acharya, by addressing him as Sitapati. Aha Sitapati Advaita Gosai, Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai. By your mercy, we can obtain Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's exactly what happened. So he worshipped the Shaligram, he worshipped Sri Krishna with the incense, with musk ointment, with the sandalwood paste, and with the lamp, the deep, the ghee lamps. And Sita Nath Advaita Charana Ravinda Bhavana. Sarva Bhattacharya is repeating that in every stanza, that may my mind always remain at the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya. And then further, he's saying, how did he call? How did he worship further? Advaita Acharya, who was so compassionate for the fallen souls, he Gangavari Manohari Tulasi Adi Manjari, with the water of the Ganges, Gangavari, Manohari, that can deliver everybody's mind, Manohari. The mind is the place of a lot of bad things. And like Mother Ganges can defeat all the bad things by taking away all that is polluted in the mind. So that is called Manohari. Tulasadi Manjari, and he offered Tulsi and Manjari leaves. Manjari leaves are very, very, especially in our Gaudiya Bhav, we always not only offer the Tulsi leaves, but we also, Tulsi leaves are the representation of the gopis, and the manjaris or the buds are the representation of the younger gopis, the unmarried gopis, who have a very special place in the service of Radha and Krishna in the kunjas or in the bowers of Vrindavan, especially when the most intimate pastimes happen. So, like that, Krishna Jnana Sada Dhyana Premavari Jharajari. And like that, he meditated on Krishna. Please come, my dear Krishna. And lots of tears flowed from Advaita Acharya's eyes. that also kind of mixed with the Ganges water and offered abhishek to the Tulsi, to the Shaligram Shila. So that shows that the fervent prayers of Advaita Acharya, Premavari Jharajari, like it's just like similar to in our Gurvastakam or the Mangalarti, Romancha Kampashlu Taranga Bhajo Vande Guru Sri Charnarvindam, where the Acharya, who is so much in ecstasy of Krishna Prema in the prayers of Sri Krishna, that the hairs stand on an end, Romancha, Kampan, they shiver. Kampan, Ashru, Taranga. Ashru Taranga means tears flow like rivers from their eyes. So similarly, Lord Advaita Acharya offered his own tears that flowed from his eyes on the Shaligram Shila, requesting Kripa Abdi Karuna Natha Bhavishyati Prarthanam. And like that, he prayed that, oh, Kripa Abdi. Abdi means ocean, and Kripa means the mercy, the merciful ocean. Please come down, please descend. Karuna Nath. Karuna Nath means, oh, most merciful master, Karuna Nath. What beautiful words Sarva Bhattacharya has used in this poetry. Kripa Abdi, O ocean of mercy. Karuna Nath, O master of mercy. Bhavishyati Prarthanam, please bestow your mercy. I beg of you. Sita Nath Advaita Chirnar Vinda Bhavanam. And then further, Muhur Muhur, calling out again and again. Muhur Muhur in Sanskrit means again and again. Just like if you all remember, these two words were even used in the Damodarashtakam. Yugamtam muhur netra yugmam rujantam. Karamboja yugmena satankana. Muhur netra means again and again, Krishna was rubbing his eyes. So similarly, muhur muhur, again and again, Krishna uchchai sware gayatam. Loudly he used to sing Hari Sankirtan. Oh Krishna, oh Govinda, please come. Giyatam, singing. And with Ucha, Ucha means with a loud voice. Aho Natha Jaga Trataha Mama Drishti Gocharam. Oh Master, oh Jagat Trata, one who can deliver the entire world, please bestow your mercy upon me by showing yourself, by descending from Golok Vrindavan in your most merciful and special incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like this, these are 8 different wonderful stanzas. Maybe on a different time and an occasion, we can sing it and maybe dedicate this entire bhajan as one session. But the the essence was, the instrument was Advaita Acharya in bringing by beckoning and fervently praying to Nandanandan, Sri Krishna, to descend down in his most merciful avatar. Now, we have to understand how is it that Krishna came down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in order for that, today I will be dedicating a lot of philosophy, and then there are 3 other speakers who will be coming in every subsequent Saturday that will go into this, perhaps the specific leelas as per their choice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But it is so important to understand the significance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I would like to dedicate this particular session in this regard. So the first philosophical point was that Krishna always descends when his pure devotees call out at the call and the fervent prayers, and Advaita Acharya indeed being one of the most foremost of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees, associates. He prayed, and this is how he prayed as per the wonderful description in Sarva Bhattacharya's Advaita Astakam. So we have to understand that here Krishna came down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because Krishna was greedy. Yes, my dear devotees, Krishna was greedy. Everyone is greedy. That greed is there in everyone. When we speak of the advent of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we should understand the cause of his appearance. This is very important, especially we as members of Iskcon. And Iskcon is a branch of of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, Gaudiya Vaishnavism, then we should know the significance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tattva. So there are two reasons why Krishna came down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One is the external reason and one is the internal reason. And the external cause was to spread, the holy name, the Hari Kirtan, Sankirtan. Ajanu lambita bhujau kanakaya dhato sankirtanai pitaravo kamalaya taksho vishwam bharo dvijavaro yugadharma palo vande jagat priya karo karuna avtaro. Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur, the author, who is none other than the incarnation of Ved Vyas, the author of all the Vedas, and Srimad Bhagavatam, he has compiled in the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just before Mahaprabhu arrived. He he appeared in the womb of one mother called Narayani, and when Narayani had her little baby, Vrindavan Das, he used to play when Mahaprabhu used to come visit Mamgachi, a place very close to Navadvip. He used to play in his lap. And he also had the opportunity to suck Mahaprabhu's toe. So Vrindavan Das Thakur was bestowed. That is none other than Ved Vyas in Chaitanya Leela. And he compiled the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Just like we are very much familiar with Chaitanya Charitamrita, that was compiled by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. But there are two other great works that are the biographies of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One is Chaitanya Mangal and one is Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Mangal was compiled by Sri Lochan Das Thakur. If you all remember that famous bhajan that is sung in Iskcon quite often, Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaur Chandra Sabha Utar Saro Shiromani Kevala Yananda Karda Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Nitai Srudrida Vishwasakori Vishaya Chadiya She Rashe Majia Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. So Lochan Das Thakur compiled the Chaitanya Mangal and Vrindavan Das Thakur compiled the Chaitanya Bhagavat. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami actually took the notes from both these, Chaitanya Mangal and Chaitanya Bhagavat, and he compiled Chaitanya Charitamrita seeking the blessings of these two acharyas, Lochan Das Thakur and Vrindavan Das Thakur. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, on the banks of Radhakund, he compiled the Chaitanya Charita Amrita. The meaning of the word Chaitanya Charit Amrita means, Chaitanya means Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Charita means his biography, and Amrit means the nectar. The nectar of the biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Chaitanya Charita Amrita. The Chaitanya Bhagavat is known as the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya along with his associates, who is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead known as Bhagavan, and anything related to Bhagavan is known as Bhagavat, like Srimad Bhagavatam. And Chaitanya Mangal, again Chaitanya means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Mangal means every word in that biography that Lochan Das Thakur wrote is so auspicious. Mangal means auspicious. Just like when we say Mangal Arti, the first Arti in the early hours of the day in the Brahma Muhurat is considered the most auspicious. Mangal Arti. So Mangal, Chaitanya Mangal. So there are external reasons and internal reasons for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Vrindavan Das Thakur mentions, Kali Yuga Dharma Hoye Hari Nama Sankirtana Etadarthe Avitarna Shri Satchitananda Ei Kahe Bhagavata Sarva Tattva Sara Kirtana Nimitta Gaura Chandra Avatara Kalyuge Sarva Dharma Hari Sankirtana Sarva Prakashilena Chaitanya Narayana Kalyuge Sankirtana Dharma Palibare Avitarna Hoilo Prabhu Sarvapari Kare. Kalyuga Dharma Hoy Hari Sankirtan. The dharma of this Kalyuga in this age of coral. Kali means quarrel, and Kali Yuga means the age of coral. There are 4 cycles of time in the Vedic cosmology, wherein this particular age that we are in is called Kali Yuga. It happened about 5,000 years ago, 432,000 years of Kali Yuga. So 428,000 years yet to go. Prior to that, there was Dwapar Yuga, which lasted about 864,000 years. So in that, there was a different Yuga Dharma, Dwapariya Paricharyanam. The Yuga Dharma was elaborate temple worship. Prior to that was Treta Yuga. And in Treta, there was Treta Yam Makai. The Yuga Dharma was elaborate fire sacrifices or yagyas. And prior to that was Satya Yuga, which lasted a good 1.7 million years. Treta lasted a good 1.3 million years, and Dwapar lasted 864,000, and Kali Yuga is 432. And in Satya Yuga, it was Dhyatam Vishnu. The Yuga Dharma was the meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in Kali Yuga, so Kali Yuga Dharma hoy Hari Sankirtan. Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying in this Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Hari Sankirtan, chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Etad Arthe Avitarna Sri Satchitananda. The external reason for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to appear is, that is the reason why he appeared. Etad Arthe, that is the reason. Avatirna means to descend. Sri Satchitananda, the son of Sachi Mata, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ei kave bhagavate sarva tatha sar. Ei kahe bhagavate sarva tattva sar. And it is indeed Srimad Bhagavatam and even Chaitanya Bhagavat says that this is the essence or the samam bona or the truth of all the truths. The appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kirtan nimitta Gaur Chandra avatar. And being instrumental as the propagator of Sankirtan, see Gaura Chandra appeared, Krishna appeared in his avatar. Kali Yuga Sarva Dharma Hari Sankirtan. And in this Yuga, again, this is being repeated that this Yuga or this Kali Yuga, the main Dharma is, the principle of obtaining perfection is Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy name. Sarva Prakashilena Chaitanya Narayana. And he is indeed the one who highlighted or who manifests the holy names with a different light, who is none other than Lord Narayana of Vaikuntha. Or Narayan rather is the avatar or the incarnation of Sri Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Avatirna hoile Prabhu Sarva Parikare, and he came along with this. Prabhu means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Avatirna means he descended. Hoilo Prabhu Sarva Parikare, along with his associates. Srimad Bhagavatam also mentions that Krishna Varnam Tusha Akrishnam Sango Pango Parshadam Sankirtane Praya Rijantihi Sumedashaha. In the 11th canto, it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or the appearance of any of the lords, it is always mentioned by the Shastras. It is mentioned by the Vaishnavas. It has to corroborate with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Not that in today's age we find that so many people, just because they are able to perform some miracles, the common people who have poor fund of knowledge, they consider those personalities who have got some siddhis or some magical powers, they consider him as God. And like that, we see that so many different such persons have been worshipped like God, and they accept that position of God, although they are in the clutches of Maya, and they are fooling the innocent people by doing so. So therefore, one has to actually, if anybody has to accept any avatar of the Lord, then we have to refer the Shastra. So in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance has been mentioned in the Upanishads. It has been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, this particular verse, that where is the Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishna. Krishna, who is blackish in Karna, Tvisha Akrishna. He appeared with the color of Akrishna. Krishna here means Krishna has more than one meaning. Krishna also means in Sanskrit blackish or darkish. That is Krishna. So Tvacha Krishna, this personality who appeared about 500 years ago, is his bodily complexion was Krishna, meaning he was not blackish. He was golden complexion. Krishna, Sango Pango Parshadam, which is he came along with his associates. Avatirna hoila Prabhu Sarva Parikare. Vrindavan Das Thakur is also saying the same thing, and we sang in the beginning the introductory song of the book Sharanagati by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Doya Kari Swa Parshad Sriyo Dham Saha Autari. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Kari, after full pure compassion for the fallen souls, Swa Parshada, along with his associates, Sriyo Dham, along with his Dham, Saha Autari, he descended with his associates and with the holy Dham, with Golok Vrindavan, he descended. And what did he do? Atyanta durlabha prema kori bare dan. He offered something that was not offered by anyone, the most of the rarest of the rarest of the rarest of the rarest. Durlabh, that is called durlabh. Sulabh means something that is easily obtainable. And the opposite of the Sanskrit word sulabh is durlabh. It is also commonly used in many Indian languages, in Hindi, in Marathi, in English. In Gujarati. Durlabh has the same, it is the original Sanskrit word that most Indian languages also adopt. So Durlabh, most rarest, that is not so easily obtainable, Kori Bare Dan, he gave Krishna Prem in charity. So this is what the Vrindavan Das Thakur says. A Brahmar Durlabha Prema Sab Kare Yachde Dina Hina Patit Pamar Nahi Bache. In Chaitanya Mangal, Lochan Das Thakur says that Brahmara Durlabha, even Lord Brahma, he cannot even attain this kind of prem, which is Krishna prem. Dina Hina Patita Pamar Nahi Bache. Even the most fallen cannot be saved from his mercy. Even they, the most fallen, were actually the recipients of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So the reason is because of a greed that occurred in Sri Krishna. 5,000 years ago in Dwapar, Krishna came in his original form as Nandanandan. But his most confidential instruction that he gave on the battlefield of Kurukshetra to Arjun was, in the chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in the confidential chapter, where he says, one of the important verses is, Man mana mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. He says that, Man mana, always think of me. Bhava, mad bhakta, become my devotee. Mad yaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, always offer your obeisances unto me. So this is confidential instruction in the chapter of the most confidential information that Krishna gives to Arjun. And also one of the most important instructions that Krishna gives Arjuna is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshasyami Ma Suchav. Give up all kinds of varieties of concoctions of different varieties of religions that you may have in your head, and you surrender only unto me. That you have to become Sharanagat. Sharanagati means, especially one should study. I encourage everyone to study the book called Sharanagati by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The devotees always talk about how to surrender. This is the question that is being asked by many devotees in many lectures to many speakers. That, in this age of Kali Yuga and with the family and with so many other things that we are so much engulfed in this, our life, how can we surrender to the Lord? Krishna is saying that surrender unto me in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the topmost messages of the Bhagavad Gita. And if you surrender unto me, do not worry, I will take care of all your reactions. Do not fear, O Arjun. So Krishna is guaranteed. It's ironclad guarantee. There's not such a guarantee that we can find. Solid guarantee that if you surrender unto me, don't worry. Whatever you've done in the past, forget it. I will take the onus on me to clear you, to purge you of all your sins and to purge you of all your reactions, good and bad, both, if you surrender. So that is the process, is known as Sharanagati. Now, Sharan means shelter, but Sharanagati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that It's a combination of two Sanskrit words. Sharan means shelter and agati. Agati. Sharan plus agati equals sharanagati. Please try to understand the concept here. Very good philosophy that, through the medium of Mahaprabhu's advent, we can all try to absorb and understand. So what kind of surrender it should be? So any kind of person who has faith in God, whether a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or even the Hindus and the different types of worshippers of demigods or the Devi Devtas, or even worshippers of different forms of Sri Krishna, whether it is Narayana, Vishnu, there is some faith that the theistic person has, somebody who has faith. So that faith brings some level of surrender. But the level of surrender that our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas are talking about is called Sharanagati. And that is what Krishna is also talking about in the Bhagavad Gita. So many people have explained the different meanings of the verses of the Bhagavad Gita. But when we hear the explanations of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakurpad, the explanation of Srila Prabhupada, the explanation of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Sridhar Swami, all these wonderful great acharyas, then that takes upon the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though it is the opulence of the Bhagavad Gita. It has got the ointment of the Krishna prema, even when the verses of Bhagavad Gita are full of opulences. Generally speaking, when we study Bhagavad Gita, we cannot get Krishna prema. Bhagavad Gita will give us the foundation so that we can become good sadhana bhaktas. Sadhana bhakti, we will become excellent do's and don'ts, the regulation, following the regulation. And when we are attracted to awe and reverence, when that is commanded, then we become good disciples. That is the meaning of Sishya. Guru and Sishya. We've heard that word, right? Sishya comes from the word root, one who is able to accept Shishti. Shishti means instruction, but also at the same time discipline. So that discipline comes with sometimes even hard and harsh instructions. Guru means heavy. One of the words of Guru means one who removes darkness, and also Guru is always very heavy. So Prabhupada was very heavy. He's soft as a rose or a very wonderful lotus flower in the heart, but sometimes he used to appear like a heavy thunderbolt, like even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. They're all like that, because that is for the well-being of the listeners, the well-being of the society of large, the well-being of mankind. Sometimes the doctors have to administer the most bitter medicine for the health of a person. So for the spiritual health, it is important to speak everything as it is without sugarcoating it. And that is the beauty of this Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So the Sarvadharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam, Krishna already spoke that verse, and Arjun was fortunate that he spoke it to him, and Arjun finally understood the meaning of that verse, and he acted in bhakti, and he continued the war that he had left, that he had decided not to, and that he acted upon pure bhakti for the satisfaction of Krishna. That is Sharanagati. So Sharan plus Agati. So all different kinds of shelters, or the different versions that everybody has in their minds about taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, whether it is Jehovah, or whether it is Allah, or whether it is Jesus, or whether it is Lord Shiva, or Lord Ganesh, or Durga Mata, or Lord Krishna, etc. Everybody has a certain level of shelter, but it is not Sharanagati. The Sharanagati is exclusively meant for Sri Krishna Nandan and his associates. This is very important to understand. The word Sharan means shelter, which, like I explained, most people have some level of shelter in whatever faith they are following. But Gati means motion, and Agati means motionless. That kind of surrender, that one is steadfast like a heavy rock, motionless. Whether you kick me or you embrace me, O Krishna, you are my Lord and Master, birth after birth after birth after birth. Not that when you are my order supplier, you're giving me my daily bread and you're giving me money and you're giving me money in the bank account. You are the good Lord. And the moment something goes wrong in my life, the health goes down, or I lose my money, or I lose a fellow member of the family, then there is no God, or God, you're not the greatest. You are the most cruel. So the opinion changes. So that is not Sharanagati. That is Agati means no matter what, I'm not moving from your lotus feet. That is called Sharanagati. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained this whole principle in the book of Sharanagati through his exemplary bhajans. There are 6 divisions of Sharanagati. Again, this is not the time and place, but again, if time permits, on some other, either on the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad group or at a future date at Iskcon Niagara Falls, if the administrators want me to, we can do a seminar just on Bhaktivinoda Thakur Sharanagati by taking one bhajan from each of his different sections of Sharanagati that displays the bhav of Sharanagati or total surrender. So Krishna spoke to Arjun, but what about us? What about the other jivas in Kali Yuga? It was said, done, it was written and prescribed in the book Bhagavad Gita, but practically speaking, we need somebody. Just like if everything could be learned from books, then why would we need colleges? Why would we need schools? Why would we need teachers and professors? So similarly, the Shastras are available since time immemorial. Many books of faith and many religious books are available. But these religious books, those who try to self-study will never be able to understand the innermost purports or the confidential meanings. So it was easily said by Sri Krishna on the battlefield of Krishna, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. And then Arjun was fortunate because he was present there. But what about the rest of the entire creation? And for that purpose, Sri Krishna, to demonstrate that principle of Sharanagati, the total surrender, he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had this greed to become a devotee, so that by his own example, he could show the principle of Sharanagati. He could actually show how to live Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So that greed arose in Nandanandan while sitting in Golok Vrindavan. That greed arose that, yeah, I spoke this. I spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita in 45 minutes. And perhaps the last few verses encompass the Sarva Dharman Parityajya verse, 1866. And that perhaps took me maybe, 15 seconds to say that. And maybe Arjun, by my mercy right there, he was under that. Arjun even admits that. The Nashtamo Smriti Labda Tvat Prasadat Maya Chuta Gata Sandeha Stito Asmi Karishye Vachanam Tavaha. It is by your mercy, O Krishna, I have understood what you are saying, and the illusion has been removed, and now I am been situated in my true intelligence. So by your mercy, O Krishna. So that is the reason Krishna developed this greed in him. Now he says that I have to go back again. And I have to go back again to establish this principle, because I am Surut Sarva Bhutanam. I have declared that in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram Sarva Yagya Tapasyam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Surut Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Richati. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am indeed the well-wisher of all. So now I have to prove that. I have to prove that further. So a certain greed developed in him, and like this, Krishna, he appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that, Yuga Dharma Pravrittano Nama Sankirtana Chari Bhav Bhakti Diya Nachamu Bhuvano. Like this, I shall go and preach the Yuga Dharma of the chanting of the holy name, and I will give the 4 forms of bhakti. What are that? I will give Dasya Bhakti, Sakhya Bhakti, Vatsalya Bhakti, and Madhurya Bhakti. Dasya means the master and servant relationship. Sakhya means the friendship. Vatsalya means the parental. And Madhurya means the conjugal love, the love of the paramour. And when Mahaprabhu came, there was no question of any Shanta Bhakti. That was not the intention of Nandanandan. Shanta Bhakti he did not. So like that, he आपने करीनु भक्त भाव अंगीकारे आपने आचारी means with his own, by his own actions. Bhakti Shikhavnu Sahane, he showed how to attain pure bhakti. Apane ne kailu dharma shikhana na yaya. And by his own example, he explained what real dharma is. Ei to Siddhanta Gita Bhagavata guy. He is the Siddhanta Gita Bhagavata guy. And this is exactly what the Gita and the Bhagavat are speaking about, pure devotional service. As long as one is hearing about it from a very, very bona fide source. So unless I practice bhakti or unless I practice sharanagati, the pure surrender in my own life, I cannot teach it to others. This is what Krishna Nandan was thinking in Golok Vrindavan. After he wound up his pastimes in Dwapar Yuga, and then he was thinking like that. And that is the reason why he was thinking, that is the external reason why he developed this greed. That is the reason why he decided that he will come down. And then, whereas there was an internal reason of Mahaprabhu's coming down as well for his descent. That is called Antarangat Karanam. And the internal reason was to fulfill his three desires. Yes, my dear devotees, this is so amazing. A lot of people in India, they are devotees of Lord Krishna. But those who have not gotten an opportunity to understand who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, certainly they have missed out on something, a huge component of pure bhakti. Not to kind of belittle anybody else who is worshipping Sri Krishna, but Sri Krishna himself came as a devotee to reveal bhakti about himself. Now, who else can be better than that? Think about this. Sri Krishna, he himself descended of how to become a pure devotee. Now, if he himself is descending to teach us that, then is there a better teacher in this entire creation that we can find? Not even Nandan. Sri Krishna can do that. That is why he had to take the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. Wonderful verse. This is Sarup Damodar Goswami, who is none other than Lalita Sakhi. All this nectar is there in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are the words of Sarup Damodar Goswami, who is Lalita Sakhi. So in the Gambhira, he is saying that Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, Siddrisho Vanyeva. He is saying that what is my love? What is Radharani's love? Radhara Pranaya Mahima. The zenith of the love of Radharani, to understand her love. Swadyo yena adbhutam madhurima kidrisho madhyatam. Swadito means to taste. Yena adbhutam madhurima. Madhurima means the sweetness. He wanted to taste his own sweetness. That is the second internal reason. And Saukyam Chasya Mad Anubhavatas Kidrisham Veti Lobhat. And that greed came to him. What was that greed? To taste, to relish what Radharani is tasting when she is tasting his beauty. This is amazing. Sarup Damodar Goswami actually composed this verse, and then Rupa Goswami and kind of, used the same verse in his wonderful play called Lalit Madhav, using the same verse, highlighting the internal three reasons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Number one, again I will repeat, the zenith of Radharani's love. Yadi Gaurang na hoite tabe ki hoito kemone dharitam de Radhara Mahima prema rasa sima jagat janatake. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not appear, Yadi Gaurang na hoito. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not appear, Yadi Gaurang na hoito tabe ki hoito, what would have happened? Radhara Mahima. Same thing. Radha Pranaya Mahima. Pranaya means the conjugal love, the Madhurya Ras in particular. Out of the other rasas, Pranaya means the Madhurya Rasa. The Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, knowing the glories, how would I have known, how could he have broadcast the glories of Radharani? Radhaya Pranaya, that was number one. Number two, Swadya Yena Adbhuta Madhurima. Swadhyayana means he wanted to taste his own madhurima, means his own sweetness. Krishna is very sweet. Adaram maduram vadanam maduram maduradi pate rakhilam maduram. Sri Vallabhacharya Pad has mentioned in his wonderful Madhurashtakam that he is sweetness personified. Everything about Sri Krishna is sweet. So in order to, everybody else is tasting, the gopis, the gopas, everybody in Vrindavan, in Gokul, in Vraj Bhumi, they're tasting the sweetness of Krishna. But he himself is not able to do so, his own sweetness. Right? Sometimes when we act in a certain way, let's say if we are very humorous and we make everybody laugh, right? So when we make everybody laugh, you see sometimes they are holding their bellies and they're crying. You know, they cannot hold back. They're laughing so much because of the wonderful quality somebody has of humor. And those people that the humor is being spoken to, they understand the humor better than the one who speaks it. They are relishing it even more. The one who is cracking the joke or speaking the joke is not crying and rolling on the ground or holding his tummy, and his intestines are not getting entwined due to the laughter that is emanated, but it is the persons who are hearing, who are witnessing the act. So Krishna himself is so sweet, but in order to taste his own sweetness, that was his internal reason for coming. And then the third reason was that Saukyam cha asya mad anubhavataha. Saukyam means bliss. What kind of bliss Radharani is getting in my association, in my separation, even when I'm not present, and in the sweetness. What is she relishing? I want to feel the same way as Radha. And that is the internal reason of Mahaprabhu's appearance. Sachi Garbha Sindhum Hari Induhu. He appeared in the womb of Sachi. Garbha means the womb. Sachi. Sachi means Mother Sachi, and Indu means the moon. So he appeared at when moonrise time. So this year, according to the Vedic calendar, it appears on the 28th of March, the last Sunday of March. And all devotees fast until moonrise. Sachi, it is called Sachi Garbha in Sindhu. The moon that arose, just like moon, appeared from it is said from the Vedic culture, from the churning of the ocean. When the churning of the ocean happened, beautiful jewels and beautiful, pearls, etc., they all emanated, and the most beautiful thing that also emanated is the moon. The source of the moon is the ocean, the churning of the ocean. When the ocean was churned very amazingly, at that time the moon appeared. So similarly, the emotions of Sri Krishna's churning in Golok Vrindavan appeared as the moon in Mayapur or in Navadvip, in the Godrum, in the Yogpit. He appeared as the moon of Sachi Mata, in the womb of Mata Sachi. So just a reminder, I know it's quite a few days away. We are dedicating this whole month to Mahaprabhu by hearing his katha. From tomorrow onwards also, in the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad group, we will be specifically going into some deeper nectars of the Chaitanya Sistashtakam. So those who would like to relish it, with greed, you're welcome to join in. Tomorrow it's at 6:30 p.m. And then it will be for the whole month itself, all the 4 weeks, and perhaps even more in the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad group. So these are the 3 reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Now the greed is a very natural thing. It is said that lobha, Sarup Damodar Goswami says the word lobha is used, but when the lobha is used in this material world for personal sense gratification, it is not good. Krishna also instructs us that kama krodhas tatha lobhascha tasmad etat trayam tyaje. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that one should give up lust, kam, krodh, anger, lob, greed. All these things should be given up. Etat trayam, these 3, tyajet. Tyajet means to give up. But greed is condemned because that is condemned. That kind of greed that is bringing sense gratification should be condemned. But that greed that for Hari Katha and for Hari Kirtan, that kind of greed and Vaishnav Seva, That kind of greed is the perfect use of greed. That is the perfect use of greed. And when greed is engaged in Krishna's service, then that is the perfect use of greed, because everything emanates from Sri Krishna. Vedanta Sutra, the very first verse, Janmadi Yasya, the very first two words. Srimad Bhagavatam, the very first two words, Janmadi Yasya, meaning everything emanates from you, O Nandanandan. The Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, the one in Golok Vrindavan. So all these attributes, anger, greed, pride, the so-called attributes that are there in the material world that we experience, all these are there in Sri Krishna. And that is the reason, because we are his parts and parcels. Mamayamsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Because we are his parts and parcels, we also inherit those qualities. But because we are in this material world, they are polluted and due to the influence of Maya, and it is used for our own sense gratification. But otherwise, these are perfect when they are situated in their original, most perfect use for Krishna Bhakti. So greed can be engaged in Krishna's seva and for bhakti. Lobha of sadhu sangha and lobha of harikatha, that is the perfect use of lobha. So Krishna, it is said by Rupa Goswami, he mentions that in his Padyavali. This is also one of a very, very wonderful verses. Srila Prabhupada used to quote this quite a bit. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Matihi. Pure devotional Krishna consciousness, Krishna Bhakti Rasa, the mellow of Krishna Bhakti. How kriyatam yadi kuto abhilabhyati, if you can find the pure mellows of Krishna Bhakti, wherever you can find it, purchase it immediately. And what is the price for purchase? Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. Tatra lolyam. Tatra means that greed. Lolyam means greed. Api mulyam ekalam. Mulyam means the price. And ekalam means the only price. So the only price for pure bhakti, the only price of pure devotional service is greed. Transcendental greed. Just like in that verse of the Mangalarti, the 5th verse. Shri Radhika Madhavyora Para Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Namnam Prati Shanaswa Dana Lolupasya, the word Lolupasya. Sarup Damodar Goswami also uses the same word, Lolyam. With great greed, the Acharya is describing the unlimited pastimes, the Madhurya Leela, the amorous pastimes of Radha and Krishna. With great greed, he is chanting the holy names, Guna, Rupa, Nama. He is always calling out, he is always speaking the transcendental qualities with great greed. Guna, Rupa, always describing the transcendental form of Sri Krishna with great greed. Nam, and always chanting the holy names with great greed. So this is what Rupa Goswami has instructed. So this lobha is there in Krishna, and that is the reason we have this lobha within us. Now, someone may ask that how is it? Krishna is Atmakam, he is Atmaram, he is fully satisfied. How can he have lobha? So that is a very, very mystery. It is extremely mysterious. And this mystery Krishna uses for the benefactor of being a benefactor of mankind. This he uses, even his own greed, he uses for the benefit of mankind. The greed, for example, Lord Vishnu has greed. Now one will wonder, how did he have greed? So he's got all these opulences, like we know that there are all the 6 opulences comprises Bhagwan, unlimited fame, unlimited beauty, unlimited knowledge, unlimited renunciation, and unlimited bala or strength. So he has got unlimited strength. All the incarnations of Krishna himself, and all his incarnations, even Vishnu, all the Vishnu tattvas, they have a lot of strength, but they want to display that. And they get that greed sometimes to become warriors and fight, but nobody is willing to fight in Vaikuntha. So like that, due to that greed, Jai Vijay agreed. Yoga Maya makes that arrangement. Whenever that desire arises, for a particular enactment or a pastime of the Lord or his incarnation, then Yoga Maya makes those arrangements. And through Yoga Maya, we know how the 4 Kumaras had visited Vaikuntha, and then they were stopped, and then by Jai Vijay, the gatekeepers, and then they were cursed, and then they became they had to take avatars as the 3 demoniac personalities which is Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu in the first avatar. In the second avatar, when Lord Krishna appeared himself as Lord Ramachandra, as Ravan and Kumbhakarna, and there ensued a wonderful war. Even with Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, there was a wonderful war that ensued between Narsingadev, who appeared, and also Varahadev for Hiranyaksha, because that spirit of warriorship, or the Kshatriya spirit known as the Shaurya, that dharma of that Virya, Rasa, that greed arised in Krishna or Vishnu or Narayana, to fulfill that, these three avatars happened. And the third was, of course, Sri Krishna, where Shishupal and Dantavakra, who are none other than Jai Vijay. So because of that greed, Lord Vishnu's greed to fight, to express this chivalry, he did that. Then there was also the greed of Lord Nrsingadev. Now somebody may wonder, what was the greed of Lord Nrsingadev? So Lord Nrsingadev developed a certain greed when Lord Nrsingadev tore apart Hiranyakashipu. Lord Nrsingadev was in his Ugra form, known as the Ugra Narsingha. When we sing that prayer, Sri Narsingha, Jai Narsingha, Jai Narsingha, and we also sing that Vagisya Yasya Lakshmi Yasya Vaksasi, and then there's that other prayer, Ugram Viram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatam Mukham. That this Nrsingadev, after tearing Hiranyakashipu, he was so angry that there was no limit to his anger because of the atrocities that this demon had committed to his pure devotee Prahlad. That was burning. Nrsingadev Bhagavan was so angry, and that is why he's known as Ugra Narsingha. So there are different forms of Lord Ugra. And then when nobody could go close to Lord Nrsingadev, the demigods headed by Lord Brahma sends Prahlad. Even Lakshmi Devi could not. So then Prahlad goes and pacifies Lord Nrsingadev, and that Nrsingadev Rupa, or that bhav of Nrsingadev after Prahlad Maharaj pacifies is known as Anugra Narsingha. There are many different types of forms of Narsingha. Depending on the need of the devotee, they pray to a particular form of Narsingha. So Anugra Narsingha is very peaceful. So when Nrsingadev Bhagavan became very peaceful, he put Prahlad Maharaj on his lap. And then he started smelling his head and showing the wonderful parental love, just like a fatherly love to Prahlad. He was showing that love. And when that happened, Nrsingadev Bhagavan, our Acharya's commentaries explain that Nrsingadev Bhagavan developed a certain greed. That, in the previous avatars that have come, in all these avatars, I never took a parent. So I never had that love, the love that now Prahlad is getting from me by sitting on my lap, and I'm smelling his head, and I'm caressing his cheeks. I wish somebody would do that to me. I wish somebody would. In this avatar, I appeared out of a pillar. So my pillar can be said my father and mother, but a pillar can never express that parental love. So after Nrsingadev, all the avatars of the Lord, due to that greed that appeared in the heart of Nrsingadev onwards, they all accepted parents. Yes, dear devotees. All the other avatars after Lord Nrsingadev, they accepted parents, like Lord Ramachandra accepted King Dashrath and Mother Kaushalya as the parents, etc. So like that, and Sri Krishna accepted Yashoda Mai and Nanda Maharaj. So like this, all different avatars they accepted. So that is the greed. Now, there was also greed of Lord Ramachandra. We're talking about greed right now, transcendental greed. Lord Ramachandra had also, in Vaikuntha, or in Lord Ramachandra's time, there was also Sakhya Ras and there was also Madhurya Ras. But let us just kind of, quickly touch on those two subject matters when it comes to Lord Ramachandra's greed. For example, the friends of Lord Ramachandra are Vibhishan, and another friend that comes to my mind is Sugriv. Lord Ramachandra accepted them to be his friends. And friendship is actually described in two ways in our Shastras. One is known as the Sambrama Rasa, or Sambrama Sakhya Rasa, and one is known as the Vishramba Sakhya Rasa. The Sambrama Rasa means that friendship with awe and reverence. One has a distance. Although he's a friend, but there is a lot of awe and reverence. Whereas in the Vishramba Bhav, or the Vishramba Sakhya Rasa, there is total equality. the friends of Lord Ramachandra like Sugriva and Vibhishan, they could not climb on Lord Ramachandra's shoulders, or they could not snatch the food from Lord Ramachandra's plate or his mouth. They were even afraid that if their leg by mistake touched Lord Ramachandra, they would feel that the biggest sinful act has been committed. But in the Vishramba Sakhya Bhav, it is different. And that is displayed in Golok Vrindavan, in Nandanandan's pastimes, wherein it is like even the friends of Sri Krishna like Madhumangal or Vishalaksha or Stoka Krishna or the different other Sudama, Sridham, all these different friends, they were equal and there was no awe and reverence. Madhumangal, who loved laddus, would sometimes steal the laddu half-eaten from the mouth of Nandan Krishna. Oh, my laddus are finished. I'm going to grab yours. And a half-eaten laddu that is almost going to be swallowed by Nandan Krishna, he would grab it and he would eat it. When Krishna would lose in some kind of a game or a match, Krishna, you have to catch your ears. Krishna, now you have to carry one of us across, and like that, you will also be punished. So what? You are the son of Nanda Maharaj, and so what? Your father is the king of Vrindavan, and I am the son of a poor Brahmin. Madhumangal used to say that. So, but no, there is in Vishramba Sakhya Rasa, it is equal. And it is like, when sometimes when we are sitting and our own leg, acharyas say, touches any part of our body, right? We don't feel bad about it. We are not careful about it. So what? It is my own body. It is my own leg that is touching, right? Similarly, when the leg of Madhumangal or Sridham, or when they are kicking each other in a game, Krishna doesn't feel bad that there is any offense. But for Vibhishan and for Sugriv to even conceive that they touched their foot to Lord Ramachandra, although they are in friendship, would be the biggest sin and a devastating effect they would have. So Lord Ramachandra developed that greed. What was that greed that he wanted to relish? Even when, for example, in the Madhurya Ras of Lord Ramachandra, Madhurya Ras consists of two components. One component is union and the other component is separation. The paramour relationship between like a husband and wife or a girlfriend and a boyfriend, that kind of relationship, the paramour relationship. In that there is union and separation. But so there was union and separation, we can say there was some reflection and there was some Madhurya Ras in Vaikuntha or in the life of Lord Ramachandra and between Sita Mata, because later on Mother Sita was banished in the forest by Lord Ramachandra just to satisfy the citizen based on the principles of dharma. So that banishment of Sita Mata was considered separation. There was immense separation that Lord Ramachandra felt and Mother Sita felt also. There's a nice verse that actually is common, by the way, just reminded me between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Ramachandra. Takta tu dushtatam surapshita raja lakshmim dharmishta arya vachasa yadagadharanyam maya mrigam daipsitam anyadhava vande mahapurushate charanaravindam. So Lord Ramachandra, yadagadharanyam, he went into the forest, satisfying his father's wish. Dashrath, he was banished because his mother, the stepmother Kaikai, wanted that. So yadagadharanyam. And Maya Mrigam Daipsitam, and he tried to chase that illusory deer because Sita Mata wanted that beautiful deer. That's such a beautiful verse. It was composed. I was just amazed when I first heard this verse many years ago. In a similar fashion, this is Maya Mrigam Daipsitam Yadagadharanyam. The same lines can be used for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left his home and he became a sannyasi, just like a mendicant, like Chaitanya, like Lord Ramachandra, when he became a mendicant in the forest. Yat agada aranyam, maya mrigam daipsitam. And to remove the illusion of Maya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he went and preached this Sankirtan movement so that all the delusion in this jungle or this forest that we live in, this samsara, in this material world, this delusion can be removed. Amazing. So anyways, coming back to the separation, I'm going to take a few more minutes before I wind up. because there's so much amazing uh, philosophical points here. So I hope devotees don't mind that. So, so Sita Mata was banished. So there was immense separation. Lord Ramachandra used to weep. Mother Sita used to weep so much. There was that separation. But that separation was forced. Please try to understand. And then there is the separation of the gopis and Krishna. Okay, so that is separate. That Madhurya Ras in the Vraj Bhav is complete. It's full. It is full of nectar. Although it can burn the hearts of the devotees who are feeling that separation, that Vipralamba Bhav. But there at the end, it brings about an indefinite cooling nectar. And that is what also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed in the Gambhira in the last 12 years. At another occasion, perhaps we can share that. And that is the main reason why he spoke the Chaitanya Sistastakam. So, like this, to relish that full Madhurya Rasa, and also Lord Ramachandra had taken the vow because he was Maryada Purushottam as Ekapatni. He will only have relationship with one woman, which is Sita Mata. So and there were so many other reasons. Even the rishis in the Dandakarnya forest, when they saw Lord Ramachandra passing through the forest, they all fell in love with him. Although they were rishis, and they felt that in the next lives, they would like to have him as the husband. So in Krishna's Dwapar Yuga, all the rishis in the Dandakaranya forest where Lord Ramachandra went, they actually took birth as the Shrutichari gopis. They became gopis. And they took birth in Vrindavan, and then Krishna satisfied their Madhurya Rasa to the fullest extent, which Lord Ramachandra's greed was there. So Lord Ramachandra, actually, he wanted to fully relish that Madhurya Rasa, which he could not in his Ram Leela. Therefore, he knew that was going to happen in the original form of Sri Krishna when he appeared in Dwapar Yuga. And Ujjwal Nilamani Rupa Goswami mentions that all these different separations that are there, especially in Vrindavan, in the Vraj Bhav, they are categorized in 5 different ways. There is Purva Raga, separation that is even before meeting Krishna, the gopis feel separation. Oh, he's going to only meet us for 2 hours, or it's only going to be this night. And they're already feeling separation, Purva, even before meeting. Then there is the separation of mana, sulkiness, which Radharani expresses in the most magnificent way, where she is so upset at Krishna, and Krishna has to pacify her, where there is tears and joy and words and so much harsh words are exchanged and sweet words are exchanged in the mana rasa. And then there is prema vaichitya. That is a rasa where there is separation, where even Radharani and Krishna with each other. And Radharani is there with Krishna right there, but she feels that Krishna is not there. Suddenly she feels that way. That is called Prem Vaichitya. And then there is also known as Pravas Viraha. The Pravas means travel. So when somebody is traveling, and when, let's say, somebody who loves her husband so much, so this Mataji is already feeling the pain of separation. The husband has yet about 1 month to go for the travels, and he's going to go on business or for a job for a long time. And she is also like, oh, now it's only 30 days left. Oh, now only 25 days left. And she's always feeling that separation in advance. So all these fullest to the 5, the Purva, the Raga, the Mana, the Prema, the Vaichitya, and the Pravas, can be fully felt only in Vraj Bhav. And that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to feel in his internal bhajan. That is the reason, that is what Srimati Radharani's bhav is. And that is the reason, those 3 internal reasons that were mentioned for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, besides the external reason being the Sankirtan movement. So this is the greed that was felt by Sri Krishna in Nandan, and that greed culminated into the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, to glorify Radharani, Swadhyo Ena Bhuta Madhurima, to taste his own sweetness, and Sokyam Chasya Mad Anubhavataha, and to relish what Radharani relishes in his sweetness. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, but his mood is different. He is the mood of a devotee. He comes in a mood of a devotee to teach Sharanagati, to become, and nobody can teach better practically than one who is a topmost devotee. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, Radharani said that, no, I'm not going to let you go alone. No way. Because I know you're trying to fulfill your three internal desires. You're trying to fulfill your three internal desires, and you will go mad. You will go crazy. I know that because I have gone through it. You want my bhav. You want my bhav. Think about it, Krishna. And when you get my bhav, you know what is going to happen to you? You know what is going to happen to you? You'll be rolling on the ground. You will be crying day and night. You will not know what to do, what to wear, what not to wear. You will be banging your head on the walls. And that's exactly what happened in the Gambhira. Last 12 years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he obtained the mood of Radharani, the bhav of Radharani, Radhar bhav, he was rubbing his cheeks on the rough walls of the Gambhira. Those who have visited Jagannath Puri, I'm sure some of you all may have taken darshan of a very small room not too far from the main temple. This place is called the Gambhira. Gambhira means a place of solitude, a place of sadness, a place of separation. A place of separation. And this place of separation was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu locked himself in that room for 12 years. Practically day and night, with some sporadic moments where he used to go out. And accompanying him was Lalita and Vishakha, along with Radha Krishna, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna nahi anna. He is Radha Krishna. So both these two personalities, Radha and Krishna, in the form of Mahaprabhu, were accompanied by the most intimate associates, Lalita and Vishakha, in the form of Sarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda. And they stayed with him day and night. They locked the room. Because Mahaprabhu, sometimes when he was chanting the name of Krishna, he used to rub his cheeks against the rough walls and blood used to use. And sometimes when Sarup Damodar Rai and Rai Ramananji, when he caught a wink, and he would simply open up the doors and he would simply go outside and roll and sometimes go into the ocean thinking it is the Jamuna and jump into it. So Radharani Rani said, no way, you will become crazy. Let me wrap myself around you. So Radharani not only gave her own mood, but also wrapped us. That is why Krishna is blackish, Radharani is tapta kanchana, molten golden. And that is why Mahaprabhu is known as Gauranga. Ranga means color and Gaur means golden. And that is the color of Radharani. So Radharani says, when you do that, I will take upon all those hurts and all those brashes and those bruises and all that, it will come on me. That was the bhav. This is the love story, the true transcendental love story of Radha and Krishna in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very few get the opportunity. We have to dive deep into the nectar of the Gaudiya Ras. When we become good sadhaks and when we enter into Chaitanya Charitamrita and the books of the Goswamis, it is so much nectar. It is so much nectar. It is indeed an ocean of Ananda Ambudhi Vardhanam, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions in his Shishtastakam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ataiva Shei Bhava Angikara Kari, Sadhilena Nija Vancha Gauranga Shri Hari. He took the bhav, then Lord Gauranga, who is Sri Krishna Hari himself. The word Hari means one who steals, one who takes away. So those are the personalities known as Hari, one who takes away the sins, like what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. Aham tam sarva pabebhyo mokshasyami ma sucha, in the sarva dharman parityajya verse. I will take away your sins. Not only that, beyond that, I will take away. There will come a point, if you become my devotee as per the lines of the Bhagavad, and if you become the devotee as per the lines of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, I will take away everything. I will even take away your minded independence. I will make you cry. I will make you dance. I will make you forget your whole family, your material things. I will steal all those things away from you. That is Hari. That is Gaura Hari. That is Gaura Hari. That Gaur Hari, Sri Hari himself accepted the sentiments of Sri Radha and thus fulfilled his own desires. This is the internal cause of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ei prema dware dhare nitya nitya radhika ekali amar madhuri amruta aswade shakali. Only Srimati Radharani, by the strength of her love, completely relishes the mellows of the beauty of Sri Krishna. This is what our Mahaprabhu is. So thank you very much. There's so much more nectar, but time is limited. And because this is a Sunday program, you know, or I mean our Saturday weekly program, I think I've overextended myself. I could not help it. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. And for the next part of the program is the question and answers. I'm sure you probably have a lot of questions considering the content. So if there's any questions, please unmute yourselves and go ahead.
You can unmute yourself if there's any questions or comments or reflections or any mistakes that need correction. So, no questions?
Hare Krishna, I'm just going to repeat what I said. I thought it was it. Anyway, this week on March 9th is fasting, Vijaya Ekadasi, fasting from lentils and grains. Also on March 9th is the Disciplines Day of Ishvara Puri, who is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And Ishvara Puri is also the guru of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Ishvara Puri comes down the line of the Madhva Sampradaya, and Iskcon follows the Gaudiya Madhva, the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. March 11th is a very important day in our calendar. It is Shivaratri, that's Thursday. So as we know that Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava, and we look forward to showing our respects and celebrating that day as well. So 13th Saturday is the Disciplines Day of Jagannath Das Babaji, who is a leader in the Vaishnava tradition and also the Shiksha Guru for Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Now, Jagannath Das Babaji is reputed to have lived for more than 120 years and has given us so much of nectar in this tradition. So that concludes the program, which will be now concluded with the Kirtan by His Grace Satchitananda Dasa. Thank you for your listening. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Please join us on IskconNiagara.com for upcoming events and also past events.
Namao Vishnupadaya कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा गाय गौरा मधुर स्वरे हरि नाम गाय गौरा मधुर स्वरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि नाम गाय गो राम मधुर स्वरे गृह थाको वने थाको सदा हरि बोले डाको गृह थाको वने थाको सदा हरि बोले डाको सुखे दुखे भूलो नाको वदने हरि नाम करो रे सुखे दुखे भूलो नाको वदने हरि नाम करो रे गाय गोरा मधुर स्वरे हरि नाम गाय गोरा मधुर स्वरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे Rama Rama Hare Hare Gai Gora Madhura Sware Maya jale bata hoye आँचो मीच का जलोए एखोन चेतना पेये राधा माधव नाम बोलो रे एखोन चेतना पेये राधा माधव नाम बोलो रे गाय गौरा मधुर स्वरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Gaura Madhura Sware Jivana hoilo sesha na bhaji le rishi kesha Jivana hoilo sesha na bhaji le rishi kesha bhakati vinoda उपदेश एक बार नाम रश मातोरे भक्ति विनोदाय उपदेश एक बार नाम रश मातो रे गाय गोरा मधु रस्वा रे हरि नाम गाय गौरा मधुर स्वारे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Lord Gaur Sundar sings in a very nice sweet voice, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Whether whether you are a householder or a sannyasi, constantly chant Hari, Hari. Do not forget this chanting. Whether you are in a happy condition or a distressful one, just fulfill your lips with the Hari Naam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You are bound up in the network of Maya and are forced to toil fruitlessly. Now you have obtained full consciousness in the human form of life. So chant the names of Radha Madhav. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your life may end at any moment and you have not served the Lord of the senses, Rishikesh. Take the advice of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Just once, relish the nectar of the holy name. Hari Nam Gai Gaura Madhu Rasware. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol. Joya, Joya, Prabhupada, 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 Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande, Hari